Hello everyone. In the last video I have explained you regarding the how to create a Angular application, and before creating what the setup we need to do in your system. So in this video I am going to explain the folder structure of the Angular application. So let's start. So this is the .angular folder. This folder will create once you create the application, and once you run the application this folder will create to maintain the cache. So I will run this. So in the previous version or later previous version, it was not creating, it was maintaining, maintaining through the internally, but here in this case it is creating the Angular version and Angular folder .angular folder to maintain the cache. So let me see what is the problem. It is saying node version, so it is 18 version, so I need to change. So for that nvm list I will see which all node version I have installed. So you know why I am doing, because our application is running, this Angular application is in Angular 17, and we need this Angular 17 supports uh, minimum 20 version, 20 and not version 20. So that's why it is showing older version, so I need to switch. So for switching nvm use 20.3.0. Yeah, now I'll run this application. Yep, it's running in the 4200 port 4200. Yeah, next move to the second folder .vs code. This is nothing, it's the settings things of the, this is it is not the part of our project. This is the maintained by the VS code extension. And if you want to customize, suppose you are working in one health application or some related to the theme application, so if you want to change based on your theme, like based on your project, suppose your project is the theme color is red color, if you wanted to do the red color should be highlighted here when the user or when the developer should open the VS code, then this all should be the red color, and means it should be look like, it should give that feel of that okay we are working for this project. So for those all customization we can do in the VS code based on your projects. So I have already explained, I have already wrote one blog for this. I will give you in the description link, you can go through that. The next is the node module. Node module is whatever in your application required. Suppose if you are installing any packages, so this all packages related everything, it will be present inside the node module. So you can see that suppose router, if you will search here angular.router, it will be available here, everything will be available here only. So whatever the required thing is for your to make your application run in the locally or browser level, so this those all things will be downloaded inside the node module. After that we are getting the src. This is called the source folder of the our application or our project. In once you expand that, you will get the app assets and index.html. I'll come one by one. So next is the app component. So app component is like this is a one component, and you already know Angular is based on the component based. So whenever you create one application, it will get one component created by default, created by the Angular side. So it contains four type of file: Angular component.ts, app component.ts, app component.spec.ts, app component.scss, app component.html. So these four files created once you create one component. This in the HTML file you can write all the HTML code. In the SCSS you can write all the CSS or SCSS code. Spec file is nothing, it is for the testing purpose required. Later I will explain this. As of now we are not going to consider this. So if you delete this file, then also the application will run smoothly, no error for. And the app component, this is the logical one. If you want to write inside that, you can write. After that we are having the app.config.ts and app.routing.ts. So in the previous version, have you seen when you create a Angular application, it will create a module, but in this case we are not able to see the app module. We are having direct app.config.ts because this become the standalone application. So now that this feature is came in the previous version only, it came standalone, but in the 17, whenever you create the application, will create as a standalone application. This all component we have as a standalone component, because for the identifier we can see that standalone is true. It's the same way here in the config file, they will do all the configs related, how whatever we are doing in the module app modules.ts file, the same thing we are doing here. So here we are providing the and we are giving the roots is nothing there, they are doing this separately in the ts file. Here we can declare our paths and all like this, same way. So as of now I'm not writing, and here they are linking that path. Earlier the uh, route module.ts was module was there and app module was there, but in this application and this version they have removed everything and they have make totally make a standalone component and based on the standalone application. Okay, next asset file, I hope everyone know that. So anyhow I'll explain. This is nothing, you can store your image file or any other svg file, image file, pdf file, and you can link to your application, and so that it should be the organized. So that's why they have Angular provided directly here asset file. Whatever you will give here, it will be linked to the your projects directly. You can give the path and you can access. Favicon is nothing, it is the icon which is visible in the title. Are you able to see your title? The same way here this favicon is called that only. Next to the index.html. So index.html is the main file one, because in the browser this file only gets loaded, and whatever you wrote, your component, logical component will render here. So are you able to see here the app hyphen root? So from where it is coming, app hyphen root. So if you see in the component ts file, in the selector it is app root. So we are saying that once the application get loads, that means this file gets loads, you just render this file app root. So it's going here directly, and you're checking the selector name, and the selector name app roots, then this component is loading. Whatever the html and css written here, it is reflecting here. Suppose if I will remove this and I'll keep only one and save, nothing will visible here. And if I'm changing something, wait, see, it's reflecting the same way. Now we get to know that in the index.html, whatever the file we are giving file name, the same file name it is loading in the browser, and it is not compulsory to maintain the same selector name. You can change, and you can, as per your requirement, you can change the selector name also. So mainly selector name is only playing the main role to identifying that component. Okay, this component is known as based on this. If the developer is using app hyphen root, then only this component should be the loaded. So selector is the name, you can say, name of the component you can give, say. And this template.url is the, we are giving the path of, so when this component is loading, it is saying you load template.url with this path for the html. You can, so this whatever you are writing inside this file, inside this file, the code, everything is coming here. The same way for the style also. And this is the imports, means whatever the to load your component, whatever the necessary thing is there, you can import here. So in the later video I'll explain more detail about that component, how we can write, how can build application regarding the imports. Okay, next the main.ts file. Here the this file is the main, it's loading here the one, how the application runs. First it comes to here and it's bootstrap our application. Bootstrap means boot means, suppose in your system, how your system boot, once you press your power on button, then the inside some they have wrote in such a way that, okay, first if the user is pressing the button on, then light should be on. After that this should be done, one logo should be visible. After, they have wrote the flow. The same way in angular also we are doing the same. This is the main file. When, suppose when this application is getting in this application is running in the browser, then which component should be loaded. So you see here it is going to the app component. So once you will go inside this app component, it will show the same component here. So here you are saying that, okay, once this application should run, go to the app component first, and after that you write your own logic which component should be loaded based on your requirements. And style of css is the global css. You can write your css here. Yeah, next is dot edit ignore config. This is the for the developers, and suppose to maintain the uh, means rules, or for the junior developers, the senior developer can write here the all the rules and everything. Based on that, the junior developer should follow these things. So that purpose they have maintained this file dot ignore, sorry, dot ignore edit config, editor config. So how to, they will write some rules, setup rules. Senior developer can write the setup rules so that the junior developer should follow the same rules. If so, you can see here it is already char set and telling white space, insert final new line. Quote type means a single or double quote. So I think here it is a single quote everywhere using. See, if I'll give double quote, then necessary to give the double quote, otherwise it won't accept. So this all setup rules to write this file we are maintaining. Edit config, editor config. So dot ignore suppose if you are working in the any project, not only if you are working in project, multiple person will be there. To maintaining the source code we are using git, and in on that git, so why we using git, because same time parallelly multiple person is working. Okay, one project is there, you work this part, I will work this part, some another person will work some another part. So at a time they to send in the some place, we have a like storage will have in the server. All developer will send all the code in the server and consider in the server and to maintain. So what this person is wrote code, should update to the this person, what this person is wrote code should update to this person, so that they can see the, okay, till this much the work is done. So maintaining that, the git is there. But the git ignore is that suppose you are working in your project. Suppose now this node module has a huge number of files. This is not required in the git, so you can ignore that by writing git ignore. Means that you can ignore the files which is not required in the server, unnecessary thing. Why we need this big file in the server? It is not required, unnecessary file. So you can write here ignore node module, it will ignore the node module. See, like this, like that same multiple things you can ignore which is not required in the git. Next, angular.json file. Angular.json file, it's explain all the your related to your projects. How, what is the name of the projects, what the in what the style it is containing, what will be the source root, what will the prefix app. I already explained. If app root here, app root, you can change this app root. Once you create an application, you can change in this file. If you give something else according to your company name or project name, it will change. Based on that only it will come. If you write elx or something else, or pre, then it will create your file pre.test, pre dot, like this it will keep on creating. Architecture, build, this all the config, how your project will work, this whole thing. So see here, styles, they are linked this file here, style.css. asset assets, inside the src assets folder is there. You will keep any I already said image or any media file or anything, it will target. And this is the browser. In the index, we are giving the index.html, browse the main.ts. I already explained, it is going to the first hit to the main.ts. based on that our application starts running. Next, package.json and package.json. Here in your application, whatever you want to use third party library, or whatever in initial stage, whatever the Angular requires the things, or whatever, it will install inside this. And dependency is the for the, if you create the production level in means in the browser, if you want to, once you build, and that time it requires this whole thing will be in the dependency. And in the dev dependency, while developing your application, whatever the things is required, they will put in the dev dependency. And in the scripts, means how, means when to run the, means while running, what command you need to do. For the start, ng serve, build, for what the configuration development, ng test. And this is the your project name, and the version you can control here. While giving the release, you can change the version 1.0.0, 1.0.01, like this you can maintain. Readme file is where you can write your own, means configure, like here how to run the project. Means so new developer can get to know, okay, for running this project any other command is there or what. So all the project related things you can write here. Readme file is the, means suppose new developer is going to work with your existing project, they can go through the readme file and they can understand, okay, like this, somehow they will understand, and later they can work. And this tsconfig app.json and config.json and tsconfig spec.json, these three files are related to the script, TypeScript file related config. This is not that important, but yeah, you have to understand this whole thing. This is, suppose in your application, if you want to change some small things, here you can see the all the source map, skip lib check, means it will be type, it's this all are the related to the TypeScript. If you want to skip it, you can skip strict, non-strict, small thing, if we are doing a mistake, it will throw the error in the while developing the application. After that you can come here and you can make true strict to false, then it won't show the errors, would it won't show. So for that purpose only, it's totally these three files are totally depend on the TypeScript related. Yeah. So, I think I explained all the files. So later I will explain, I will create one project, one project related to any, I will come up with the one project, and I'll explain how to use the for loop, how to if loop, ng if, ng for, and what the syntax it's changed. So everything I will come with the in the next video. So as of now, thank you.